a girl's self-esteem. For all you girls out there, I don't know about y'all, but I remember when I was little, and I always used to flip through magazines, and I used to flip through the TV, and you'd see Barbie and all these girls or whatnot, and I would always say, I want to be like her. Like, she's so awesome, and she's so perfect, and she's so put together. And I just remember what an impact that made on me at such an early age. I remember growing up how I became obsessed with the way I looked, and if one little piece was out of whack, I'd have to constantly fix it, and I was like, oh, do I look okay? And like, oh my gosh, this one little zit on my face, everybody can see it, and it was just, it's where it just began to become like a complete obsession, and that's all I would worry about was the way I looked, and to the point where I let it control me. Beauty pageants are just a few ways that people can actually that's just how they view our outer beauty, and that's not what counts. The true beauty that a girl has, or any individual has, is in the inside, and that's the only thing that really counts in the end. Beauty pageants are much more than someone just walking across the stage. It's when a girl is allowing someone to judge her based on how she looks, and that is the only thing that they judge. My stepsister Melody is actually, she's been in multiple beauty pageants. She's actually competing to be Miss Louisiana. And I went to one of her pageants a couple months back, and I remember I was there and I was so excited to help her get ready, and got there and she's putting on her makeup and she was like, oh, I feel so beautiful, and I was like, you are pretty, you don't have to put all that stuff on. And I just trying to kind of encourage her and saying, you know, it's not about what you look like on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts, and those judges aren't going to get to see that. That's just an unfortunate thing for them. And she got all dressed, and we got her, and we were bringing her to the stage, and they found out that she was the only, it was only her and one other contestant, and so they walked and they did their thing, and at the end of the pageant, they got the results, and she came in second place, so technically in her brain she lost, and the other girl got queen. And I remember her face, she was just so absolutely devastated, and I felt so bad for her, and she just began to cry, and she walked off stage, and I went up to her and I was like, why are you so upset? And she's like, I'm just not good, I'm not as good as her, I'm not as pretty, and she just began to cry, and I was like, you are gorgeous inside and out, and that's all that matters. And I felt so bad because I think of all the other girls that are in beauty pageants and how when they lose and like the way they must feel. I mean, pageants can bring out so many negative things. Sure, it's great for the people that win, but what does it do to the negative people? I mean, is it really worth it? I mean, how exactly is this an accurate judge of what beauty truthfully is? All beauty pageants is a way for a young girl or a grown woman to dress up and feel good about themselves. But what happens if they don't win? They can completely diminish what they think of themselves and just completely ruin their self-esteem. Beauty pageants can make you feel like you're on top of the world if you win, but whenever you don't, you feel like you're on rock bottom. Psychology Today is a website that I found, and it just talks about the impact that these pageants have on individuals and girls that are like in a young age that are constantly in pageants, and their parents put them in pageants. They feel like from a young age they learn that they have to look this perfect way or they're just not going to win. Since 1990, the average Miss America has been 5 feet, 7 inches, 121 pounds, according to the National Center of Health Statistics. The average 20 to 29-year-old American woman is 5 feet, 4 inches, and 142 pounds. This is what girls see as the standard of how they should look. This is what can lead to eating disorders, thoughts of suicide, and just other harmful things. I have a whole bunch of pictures up here on the screen, and it's girls and women that are in beauty pageants. And the fourth one is a girl that lost the pageant. I don't know about y'all, but she doesn't look too happy to me. The look on her face, you can just tell that she's devastated. She's like, seriously, I just feel horrible right now. I cannot believe this just happened to me. And she's just looking around and she's like, wow, I'm just never going to be as good as them. When you look at these girls, what do you first think? Do you say, I wish I could be like them? Do you say, man, I'd be anything to be her? Do you compare yourself in any way? I mean, third girl looks pretty great to me. I wouldn't mind looking like that. But, you know. Pageants control. Whenever you're in pageants for so long, they begin to control, like, the way you act and the way you make yourself look. And that's just not healthy. If you're forever trying to maintain this perfect shape or this perfect image or this perfect person, it's not possible. No one's perfect. And being real is one of the best things you can be. Beauty pageants have totally changed the idea of how girls view themselves. So the next time you're at a beauty pageant or you're thinking about entering one, think about this. What will you gain if you win? What about if you lose? I mean, how is that going to make you feel? Are you going to be able to look at all the other girls and say, you know what, they're just prettier than me? No, probably not. You're going to be like, wow, and you're probably going to feel just really low and put down on yourself. Each one of us is made in a very unique way. Why should we feel the need to have someone else judge us? True beauty comes from within, and that is the beauty that counts in the end. Makeup may be able to hide a small blemish or a scar, but it can't cover up what's in your heart, and that's the true beauty. Your character and the way you treat people will show how beautiful you truthfully are. So forget beauty pageants, and don't give yourself the chance to let someone else be able to tear you down. Instead, just know that true beauty comes from within, and that is the only beauty that will ever count.